Hi everyone, and welcome to the third episode of How to Zoined. In this episode, we're going over creating simple reports, such as the metrics report and a simple bar chart report as well. So we're starting off here with the dashboard view. So you'll have your standard dashboard view over here. And if you hover over to the left over here, you'll find these three buttons here. Analytics, where you have your analytics reports. You have new report and dashboard, and then of course the email reports. So in this episode, we're going to click on new report and dashboard, and then on new report. Here it opens up the view for creating a new report. So basically we have the selection here of the report, and here we have the title, which we can choose to be, for example, sales report. Then we can also add a description of the report if we want to. Then we can choose the report type, so whether it's a user report, basically means it's a report for only yourself in the platform, so only you can see that report, and also the admins. It can be a team report, so basically a report for a dedicated team inside the company, or it can be a company report, so basically the report is available for everyone inside the company to look at and to use. We can also, of course, restrict access so that we can restrict it for certain teams or for certain users. This time I'll choose a company report. Will not restrict the access for this sales report. So we can see here, we already have selected the metric with details report type in this case. So that is the one we're going for. But you can also see by clicking this, it gives you a example of how that report would look like. But for this time, we will start with the metric with details report. And then from here, we can choose the filters that we want the report to show us. So in this case, for example, we have rolling for 4 full weeks. I want this report now to show the latest 7 days in this case. So I go here and I can then choose to show me the last 7 days. I also want this report to compare to the, let's see, previous comparable period. Yep, that sounds about right. Take that away. So we can choose to compare with many things, for example, the budget also, and we can also put in, for example, a forecast. I'll take those away and I'll just choose the previous comparable period in this case. And then I want the metrics to be shown. As you may know, we have over 250 metrics available in Zoined, more or less. So we're gonna choose actually sales no tax this time. But here it's actually easy to choose between many different types of metrics. So we have visitor metrics, sales metrics, also the inventory metrics, and but for this time we're actually gonna choose the sales no tax. So I actually want to see the sales no tax. From here you can see that I can now easily switch between these two to check them. You can see that the report is updated as I am clicking through, and but I want to take this away now because I want to use sales no tax. From here on, I can also change different things like day of the week, time of the day. I can change the channel I want to see. So for example, if I want to check the sales no tax for wholesale, I'll just put this in, and this is now only for the wholesale. Okay, I don't have data there, but for example, the e-commerce now, I'll have some data in there for the e-commerce, so we can check that. Then we also have the stores, but for this time I actually want to see the sales no tax for the e-commerce. Then we also have the sales area here, and all of these filters here are applicable for this report. If I want to see for a certain sales area, for example, the e-commerce sales for a certain sales area, we can check that by clicking here. We also have salespersons, the category, subcategory, and product name. In this case, I would like to see the e-commerce sales for children indoor, which is 774. I can now save this report over here, and I will have this report then ready for the whole company to check. And you can see over here, we can see that we have selected the e-commerce and children indoor filter for this specific report. Now I can see that this sales report is only named sales report. So if I want to add a more detailed description to the report, I can go over here back again and click on edit. So we have the possibility to edit this report. We can duplicate this report. We can also share this report, and we can delete this report. So now I want to go in again and edit the report, and I want to call it sales report e-commerce. And we had the children indoor selected there. So that, I'll call it sales report e-commerce for children indoor, for example. Save this like that, and that's done. Now we have the report, says sales report e-commerce for children indoor. Now, when we have the report ready, we can check the report. So we can go into the insights of the report by clicking the arrow down below here, as we have done previously. And from here, we can check then the e-commerce sales. And from here, we can also drill down to check the children indoor, which we have selected over here. So, for example, if I want to see some other stuff in this report, we can use the filters here. So the filters that we use here will just affect the report right now while working on it. So we can, for example, take away children's indoor and the e-commerce section, we refresh it, and now we get all the sales, no tags from the stocks. So now, when I open up the Insights button, we get all of the different places which are not e-commerce. We actually get the stores. So now you can see that we have London, Tokyo, and from here, again, we can dig into the categories and check how they are. But we actually made this report only for e-commerce for children indoor. So now if I made the changes, nothing will be permanent. I can go back to the default dashboard, and when I now navigate to my report, which we will find under Analytics, under Company Analytics, because that's where we saved it, we'll find here e-commerce sales report, e-commerce for children indoor. We'll find it over here. And now you can see that the filters are on again. So you're back to basically scratch. But if you want to do some permanent changes to report, we can go back to the edit button. And now, for example, I want this report to be for all the stores. And I want to take away this selection of children indoor as well. So, but actually, I want to check the region for New York and London area to check the sales over there without tax. So now we actually have to change our name of the report as well. So we go ahead and do that. I'll save this. And now again, what we have set in stone in this report is that we have the sales for New York and London area. And again, from here, we can choose to see some other regions, but the main standard regions will always be New York and London area for this specific report. And if we like this report that we built and would like to have the same report but with something else, we can also, like I said, edit the report, but we can also duplicate the report and make some other changes in it. So I can duplicate this report, we'll say copy of sales report London and New York. I can take away copy off if I want to, and it gives us the possibility to work on this report from scratch again. So this will be a company report again. I will not restrict access, and we can make this sales report for another region. So I take away the filters which have been set in stone from the application, and I'll choose the region Southern Finland. So I have to change the name also here to sales report Southern Finland. There we go. And from here, you can save this report, and we have a copy report of the previous report we just made. And you'll find them under analytics here as well. So in the company report, we now have sales report London and New York, and we have sales report Southern Finland. I'll go back to the dashboard now. So that's how we made 2 easy reports with the default metric type. And now for this time, we'll make a new report, and we're actually gonna do a report with the chart using the dual axis. We could call this sales chart. So in this specific report, we're actually gonna make this a team report. So we can choose the team we want to assign this report to. This could, for example, be Amsterdam and Helsinki, which I think is a good choice in this example. We go ahead and choose the chart with the dual axis over here. So you can see it popped up here now. We have the sales with tax by store, but we do now also have information and data from other stores which we do not wish to have in this specific report. As we are focusing on Amsterdam and Helsinki and assigning it to the team Amsterdam and Helsinki, we want to use Amsterdam and Helsinki in this report. So again, we'll go down to filters, and now in this example I want to see the year to date, and I actually want to compare a specific period. So I can go in here and I can go on custom period, and I can choose now February 1st, 2024 until February 29th. So that gives me a custom view to compare to. And from here, we're actually just going to choose Finland and let's put North Holland there. So we have Amsterdam and Helsinki in this report as we wish to have. The other thing in this particular metric is that we can have a secondary metric as well that we can visualize in the report. So if I have sales with tax here, also changeable to something else, could be, for example, sales no tax or cost of goods sold. In this specific case, I want to have sales with tax chosen. We have store chosen because we want to see these 2 stores. And the secondary metrics I would like to add is the sales pieces. When adding the secondary metric, we get the secondary metric shown like this in the report, so that we can see the sales pieces sold. Gives this information, this small information box gives us the information that the sales pieces amount compared to last comparable period that we have chosen, or the custom period that we've chosen. And we can see that there's some differences in the values there. From here, you can also change the values if I want to see percentages instead. And I can also show the data labels so that they are shown in the report itself. I can also change the visualization of the bar chart. But from this time, I would like to go back to the first view that I had selected. Values and upright. From here on, we can now save this report, call it sales chart Amsterdam and Helsinki, and we can save this. Now we have a report for the Amsterdam and Helsinki teams. And now it's possible to drill down into this report to check, for example, Now the drill down suggests us, has us by default a selected salesperson as the thing we will drill down into. So we can click now Amsterdam, for example, and we'll check the sales people in Amsterdam, and we can see the sales with tax and how many pieces they've been selling during this selected period. So by hovering over these charts, we can get some more information about the salespeople, what they've been selling, and how many pieces they have been selling. And by clicking again, I can see what the salespeople have been selling in the category specifically. And from here, I can always go back to the first view of the report. The other thing here is that, again, we can edit this chart here. We have selected Southern Finland, North Holland, but this could be, for example, now a sales bar chart for all the stores. So I'll select sales chart, the title here, and call it sales chart, all stores. Make it a company report this time. And now we take away these filters over here. And as you can see, we get now all the stores. And then we have the metrics, of course, chosen as we have before, sales with tax and sales pieces. But from here, I would like to make this more detailed. So we can actually go into the categories and see the accessories for all these places, the sales of the accessories and the sales pieces for all these stores individually. We can also see, for example, a specific day of the week, for example, a Tuesday, and it will give us the sales and pieces of the accessories on Tuesdays of the period we have chosen. And from here, we can now take away these filters that we have chosen, and let's see, we can choose something else. For example, we'll choose another metric, change that up. So we can, for example, change it to sales pieces. And the second metric could be sales VAT per working hour. So these are easily changeable to check with all our available metrics. In the secondary metrics and in the first metric. And in the grouping, we can choose different things. Like we have store selected now. We could, for example, select category. And the categories will display instead. Or we could check the sales areas and easily get an overview of how that looks like. And I'll save this as a company report. Again, exactly like the first metric we looked at, we can copy this one, can duplicate it and make changes to it. Or we can share it and we can delete it also. And it will be found under Analytics, under Company Analytics now. That was all for episode 3 of How to Zoined, where we went through the standard metric and the bar chart with the dual axis. Thank you so much for your attention, and I wish you a great day. Thank you.